Hello, y'all.
What's up, Coach?
Coach, what's going on?
You talked about it being important to take a couple days and recharge. You obviously don't know about the recharging until time passes, but were you able to take a couple days away and
Yes,
close your
sir.
mind off?
No, it was great. Got to see my family. Got to just sleep a little bit. All that stuff. Before we did that, we made sure we went through all the stuff that we've done up to this point, those 5 games, to try to make this a better offense and a better team.
Yeah, Nate, as you kind of did that autopsy and especially looked at the red zone offensive efficiency, what were some of the biggest things that you can kind of point to?
Negative plays. I think that's been kind of one of our nemesises. We've been really good in some explosive passes down the field. I think we're pretty high up there in the league, and we have some really good explosive. We're really feast or famine, and it's in the red zone, and it's in the middle of the field. The amount of get back on tracks we have is just too difficult. We need to be way more efficient on first down, getting positive yards, and even just incompletions instead of sacks or penalties. So I think those are the things that we're focusing on, trying to narrow down the things that we want to be great at, and then continually develop in those.
Where does it stand with Russ? Is he going to be able to play, or where does it stand with him and his shoulder right now?
Yes, no, he should be ready to play.
And have you looked at going back to maybe some of his highlights in the past and maybe kind of fitting this back, or I don't know, trying to find a better fit for him? Because it just looked like his decision making was off, which we're not used to seeing.
Yep.
You have bad games, but the decision making looked weird.
Most of the stuff that we've done as we collaborated and made this offense is stuff that he's comfortable with, that we're comfortable with, and we're always going to do what's best for our guys and what's best for Russell, and we'll continually develop a plan for him on all the things that he does well.
How beneficial will this mini bye week be for his shoulder to get better? And is there any thought this week of potentially sitting him a week?
It's huge for the entire team. I mean, to have this much time, we've been banged up a little bit, and the guys need this time to be able to re-energize themselves and get all their bodies back. So I think this mini bye kind of comes at the perfect time for us.
Are you expecting that Justin, Michael, and Greg are going to be able to practice this week?
That's what we're looking for. Yes, they've kind of gone through that 4-week time period through the IR rules, and we're looking for them to get out there and practice.
Muscle in his shoulder, is that something that you think he's going to have to sort of manage, going forward for 2 weeks, or is it something that he can get back to being, essentially fully healthy?
I've learned in this game everybody has something that's going on. It's a very, very physical game, as we see week in and week out with everybody. And Russell is a very tough human being. He's not going to miss anything. He wants to be out there competing for this team. And so we'll just make sure that we take care of him, do the right things to get him to as close to 100% as we can.
Coach, what do you think he meant when he put out a tweet saying, quoting Winston Churchill, saying, when you're in hell, keep going through? Is he in a hellish situation?
I didn't see that one.
He did.
I mean, Russell's a competitor, and he knows that we're not where we want to be. And I know that he wants to do everything in his power to get this offense, this team, to where we all want to be. We're at 2-3. We are who we are, and we need to get better, and he knows that, and he's going to do everything in his power to get us there.
Do you feel like you're in a dark place, though, like a hellish situation right now?
I mean, that's the first time I've heard that quote, but no, I think it's a beautiful day. I'm here with everybody here, and there's a lot of improvement to be done. And whenever you know that there's improvement that can happen, you know that there's going to be a lot of improvement.
If Dulcich can come back this week, what does he bring to the offense, and maybe particularly in the red zone?
I mean, he from his college tape, he was a very electric player, was able to separate down the field, stretch the field. He did some really good things for us as we were here in the OTAs and a little bit of the training camp and all that stuff. So he's just, kind of another weapon for us, and we're excited to get him out there. But he hasn't played a lot of football lately, so it's going to be a slow process, and we want to be sure we work him in the right way.
A few weeks ago,
Your list has got pretty long on you. How much is that test, I guess, organization with that? And how do you keep guys from saying, well, we've got a lot of guys hurt?
First and foremost, I think George, Mooj, all those guys have done a great job managing the roster. It has definitely been a juggling act because of all the different changes that we've had. It's part of football. There's some, those football injuries that happen in the games that you really can't control. There's a lot of other things that we're going to continually do to try to make sure that the guys are healthy and ready to go throughout the season. We still have 12 games left, and it's a great opportunity for guys that need to step in to be able to play at a high level, and so we're excited to see them.
A few weeks ago, you said the run game was a big part of the identity of the offense. Going forward this week, obviously with Javonte being out, Latavius being brought up to speed, will 3 backs be a little bit more involved in the offense going forward?
I've kind of talked about it in the past. I think that with so many games and how violent this game is, the more backs you can have touch the ball and have fresh legs be out there is always good. And, we're going to get to know Latavius here. So you've known him for a long time, and I know he's a downhill runner. He can do a lot of different things. He's a very experienced back. So is Melvin. And then Boone, you saw him come on last game quite a bit. So all three of those guys, you want to see them have the ball in their hands at some point.
The team is second in the league in drop passes right now. Is there a common thread to some of those drops, and how does that get corrected?
I've just kind of looked at it as it's almost too much pressing. That everybody wants to make a play. Everybody's looking to do something a little bit more. And in the end, it's about fundamentals and the basics and just securing the catch and getting the yards up the field instead of trying to, explode out on something. So the guys just have to kind of go back to that. Their fundamentals are basics, secure the ball and turn it up the field. And as we start getting those drops out and get those demons out, the guys will get better.
Your old position, long snapper, are you going to have one at practice today?
We're working through that right now. That was something that kind of came out of left field after the game, losing Bob. So we need to find one, and he's got to get in there and get going. But, yeah, I've used to long snap a little bit, and it's definitely a unique position.
Is there at the tackle spots, any sense going forward? Is Calvin the guy at left tackle, and that right tackle will Billy be ready to play this week?
It's funny. We talked earlier how we're going to need all those offensive linemen. So somehow, some way, they all got to be ready to go. We're going to work through that and try to get the best 5 out there that we can.
Is there a feeling with how well your defense has played, if the offense clicks, that you're not as bad as 2 and 3 seems, at least from the outside?
I think without a doubt. Let's face it, the offense has had too many negative plays, just too many things that have put us in rough positions. We're very efficient. We looked at everything over this past weekend, and you look at where we rank in third down when we're in that third and short, where we're actually very, very good. And we've just put ourselves in those long down and distances, and it puts the defense, at a disadvantage. So the defense is playing very, very good. The special teams is doing some good things. So for the offense, we just have to put those basic things together and not have those things that are self-inflicted. And once we do that, I think it's going to be a good football team.
Final 2, we got Jeff and then Artie Stapleton.
Well, I think everything's more growing pains right now. We're 5 games into the season, 5 games that we've all been working together. We're all still getting to know each other. Russell's getting to know the team's getting to know him. Same thing for me, is when you're in those high critical situations, how people react, what plays are kind of our go-tos, what we want to accomplish. So everything's just growing pains right now. It's us just getting familiar with each other and understanding what we want to get to when we need to.
So you didn't come away saying I'm pitching something else.
I think it's more focus. I think it's more focus on the things, and it wasn't just for these 5 games, but kind of revisiting what we did in OTAs, what we did in training camp, the things that we really liked, and maybe we got away from them for a certain reason, whether a defense took it away. And sometimes you just have to do the things that you're good at, and you know that the guys are going to make plays with the things that you are good at.
Last one, Artie.
Piggybacking a little bit off of Jeff's question, but there's been several times, especially late, that you've had really good play designs that Russ didn't throw to his target, maybe his main target. Does that present a unique challenge in making those kind of corrections when the play's working, but it's your quarterback that needs to make that adjustment?
Yeah, in the end, it's about all of us executing together. Whether I need to do a better job explaining the play or whether Russ needs to hit it. Either way, we just have to work together, and we have to be able to capitalize on the plays that are there. And then when the plays aren't there, because even though some are there are some that aren't, and he's got to use his feet and he's got to do different things. So it's just us working together and making sure that we have the most efficient play, whether it's wide open or not open.
Thank you very much.
All right, y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.